Well, hello again, and welcome back to another board game breakdown, making tabletop game easier. And today I am playing against RToWin in the League of Dracula 2025 tournament. This is the second game in the series, and oh wow, this is a very unorthodox starting position. Alright, if that's how you want to play, I will position myself in... Oh gosh. I have two vampires, bats, mob, and wolves. He looks like he's a touch on the bloodthirsty side. You know what? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put myself down on 15 in Claremont Ferdinand and see what happens. So, the first game in this series didn't record, and I'm hoping that this game will. That or the game file size got bigger than the memory that I have for my phone, and it got eaten as a result. But I'm going to try to not do that. Suffice to say, RToWin played a pretty good, strong Dracula game. Well, there's one local rumors down. Alright. So, my strategy for this particular game is going to be hopefully to just stay off the main beaten path and lure him in. Hopefully he overcommits to me based off of this setup, and then then I can kind of skulk away. Part of me kind of thinks I should have started near Van Helsing to see whether or not he plays a good up-close and personal game. So I'm just going to take this moment now to quickly check inventories. So, Godalming only has an item. And Seward has... Wait a minute, Godalming? Yeah. Oh, no, Seward... No. Godalming only has an event. That's my bad. Seward... He's got 3 events, or 3 items. 1 event in hand. Mr. Van Helsing only has 1 item, and Mina only has the 1 item that I can see, which is fine. Okay, well, let's proceed to take our turn. Alright. So obviously, we'll move the trail. And because it's quite a far distance for them to reach, we're going to slide Dracula over to Nantes. And we've got nothing to protect this vampire except the bats. I think I'd rather get my Reckless Vampire down first, because it can get me more points, and then there's a Saboteur. Now we have to remember to place the rumor token. Never want to forget the rumor token. Okay. Dalming's got a full grip now. This is 1 more event. Seward's probably got a full grip now. That's 1 more event. Van Helsing has no events. Okay, Mina also has no events, and continues to show me that rifle. Yeah, this is a very unorthodox setup. But my hopes is to stay on the extremities and hope that they don't draw too many search cards. Or cards that are good at searching. I think the best strategy for me going forward from this point would be to... I'm not gonna go up to 29 and leave a present for Van Helsing, because that just gives them a clue as to where I am, especially since eventually he's going to have to come back over the ocean. Alright, train ticket. I can see the idea that maybe playing in his head. Maybe his strategy is to quickly gather up as much gear as he can and get the horse economy all settled, and then use Van Helsing's trade ability to get the events to the players or to the characters that need the events gotten to. So let's slide the trail. And by playing this misdirect card on where I started from, it allows me to go back to Clermont-Ferrand, which I will. But he might think that I've buried myself in a corner, because this is a very typical Dracula play. He might think I might have buried myself against the Black Sea coast and I'm tucking a vampire into a corner, and then he might be tempted to draw... when he gets a hired scouts or something, to look over there as opposed to where I actually am. Now, for this particular thing, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a hide card, and I'm going to hide underneath some bats. Because at least the bats can shunt a hunter away from my vampire, giving it extra time to mature, and additionally it'll delay that particular hunter. So if they're not, quite on the ball, or they can't get their crap together, well, there we go. Now they're going to start throwing away items. Holy bullets. Okay, there's one item. Toast. Okay, Seward draws, and he's going to throw... dogs. It's a shame dogs don't get more respect. Evil presence. Okay, well, he's about to learn that I'm not adjacent to anybody. That's good. It kind of tells him where I'm not, but at the same time, that's not as valuable as being told where I am. Mina receives. And what event did she draw? Chartered carriage? Yep, that's what that is. Chartered carriage. Good old Mina. At least Mina can be depended upon to reveal some things. Okay, ticket. I already wished my opponent good luck. Seward's still only got the 2 events in hand. He seems to be contemplating something a little bit here. Yeah. So my next move is going to be down to number 15. The one I just misdirected. Mostly because it's off the railroad, and if the hunters... because of that chartered carriage, if they draw lucky newspapers and discover that I was in Nantes, they might just use the chartered carriage to try to get their way down to Bordeaux, and then at least that way I'm off the path. Then they might think that I might have gone up 29 and gone along the coastline of the Channel, English Channel, or the North Sea. It would be really awesome if I could somehow time a departure from... Okay, so he searched Germania. Okay. Scanned Germania. So now he knows that I'm not in Germany. And now I think he might shuffle his hunters into the next adjacent area. Maybe he'll go to Austria-Hungary, maybe he'll go to Italy, but I think he might go to 51 first, which is going to kind of reveal where I'm at. Hopefully he's unlucky and he guesses wrong, but I'm going to slide the trail, get my turn on the go here. I think the next thing I ought to do is to put that saboteur down on 8. So, let's go and move. Maybe not to... No, not to... Well, okay. So here's the thing. If he thinks to come into France, then maybe on a future turn I could move to Spain, and then by the time he comes to scan, then I won't be in the vicinity anymore. It's really a rough choice. As much as we should just stick to the plan. No, I think I'm okay. I'll go to 8. Yeah. And we'll put the saboteur down on 8. I drew a hoax, and now I'm going to put the rumor token on Nantes, just so I don't forget to do it, because sometimes I'm notorious for forgetting to do that thing. Now my hope is that he's not quite ready to move, and that Mina scan was just because he had a lack of things to do. So, okay, yes. Ooh, throws away a stake. Okay, well that's one less thing to kill vampires with. I had a problem in my last game that I played against him too, because every time I needed a stake, I never had one, and anytime I had a stake, I never needed it. It's just unfortunate. Garlic, okay. Oh, for love of Pete. Alright, well, there's the newspaper reports. So he knows that now he's kind of got my gig. Well, there was nothing to prevent that, unfortunately. We're just going to have to change up our strategy a bit. Now he knows I'm in Nantes. Okay, what you gonna do now? Are you ready to come and get that vampire? Because it's going to cost you a bit of movement in order to reach where I'm at. And it's not an easy journey for you either. Yeah, that's sometimes the absolute stress that this game can cause, is that, oh no, the hunters have discovered my trail, and then you suddenly feel like you were scrambling. You're going to scramble the whole game. RToWin played a pretty good Dracula game against me in the first game that we played together. I was playing hunters, I had a pretty strong start, and I was coming at him with a lot of good tools, and some of the things that took me out in that game were bad luck in combats, and just the misfortune of landing on locations that I was not equipped to handle at the time. I don't believe I was ever undersupplied. I just landed on some really bad spots. And additionally, that entire game, he was completely exposed. I had hired scouts right off the first week, and I guess day 2 or 3 or something like that, and I dartboarded him, and I caught him right along in Constanta all the way down on the Black Sea coast, and I kind of just through a series of random supplying always just knew where he was, because then I got another hired scouts, and then I was just able to just quickly pick all the locations. He even survived a consecrated ground. I tried to trap him, but I misplayed it. I should have put one of the tokens on one of the locations he was at to force him to move off of it, but which is what I wanted him to do. I wanted him to move off of the location he was sitting on, but it allowed him to, of all things, dark call and stay put. Now it looks like he's having himself a real good think about this. But I am patient. I would rather he play the best game that he can play and not, like... Okay, so he's trading with Seward. I don't know what any of these gentlemen have in their hands, but I suppose what he's maybe trying to do is give Godalming the best equipment that he can possibly have before sending him off. Seward's got a full grip. And he's trying to improve the horse economy. Okay, well, hopefully their horse economy is not perfect, and hopefully they don't have horses. And at least Van Helsing can't come to see right now, although I guess maybe in the near future Van Helsing is probably going to hit the channel and on the next turn, and then he'll be in Claremont in 29 pretty soon thereafter, and then he'll have the movement he needs to at least reach my vampire. But at least I've got the bats. If he doesn't have forewarned, then I can mature that vampire without too much trouble. Mind you, I have to treat it like they have a stake. They've thrown one stake away, but I don't want to underestimate. Okay, so Mina and Godalming are trading now, so they're swapping inventory items too. It looks like they're loading up Godalming to send him on a whirlwind adventure. Well, let's make one more move. And we will move Dracula to... Let's go to 47. I think maybe the strategy should be to, rather than to go around the outside of Spain, go to Santander, cut across to 48, and then kind of do a lazy J and hook back in. Which is less valuable to me in this circumstance? The mob? Well, actually, I think I'll put the wolves down. Got some bodyguards now. And I will pass my turn along. So the trash contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. Okay. Yeah. So maybe for the people at home who are watching this who aren't kind of like, why am I counting all the items? Well, I made myself a handy Dracula note sheet. I might post a printable copy of this if there's of people who are interested in having their own copy. But essentially what I've done is I've created a kind of a very quick kind of, if you've ever played the board game Clue, where you can figure out who has what and where. I've created a quick little sheet like that kind of tells me who's holding what, and what's been discarded, and how many of all of the items are in the game, and all that other fun stuff, so I can best determine what the resource count of the hunter that I'm coming after is. Alright, hired scouts. Okay, where's he gonna hired scouts me? My hope is that I'm not being too predictable. Now, is he going to try to guess where he thinks I've gone to and where I am currently, or is he going to try to put together pieces of where my path, where on the path he thinks I went? Like, hopefully, I mean, if he checks 42 and 15, which is exactly what he did, he's learned that I didn't go deeper into Paris. But he's not discovered the other locations. So he knows that my direction of travel based on that card alone means I've either gone up to 29 or down to 8, which is Bordeaux, which is exactly where I went down to. So he kind of knows at least that much. Either I went down or I went up. And now he's got to make a decision based off of that. It doesn't seem like he's too eager to jump to deal with that vampire, and the more time that goes, the less time he's going to have to deal with it. Throw away another more holy bullets. Okay, and it's another card. I think Seward might have... Okay, yeah, he moved to Ocean just like I predicted he would. There's... Alright. And... Mina throws away a pistol. Claws are looking pretty darn good, actually. Unless he's confident Van Helsing has this in the bag, because by the time morning rolls around, Nance will be on space 5, and then he'll land in at 29, and then by the time I move again, it'll be on the 6th slot, which means Van Helsing will has to move to 38. Mind you, I've got the hide card there, so... Yep, bats. Bats are going to get him. And that's assuming, of course, that he does not have a forewarned. I better put a big old question mark on that. Does he have forewarned? Now, of course, I'm not taking anything for granted in this game. So, my strategy, I think, is going to be I'm going to go from 47 to 48 and then to Madrid, and then kind of stay along the coastline. I don't want to go to places like 26, because 26 gives me very little wiggle room, especially if he has a, if he's found consecrated ground. That is the big question. Does he have consecrated ground? Is he trying to shuffle around his heavenly hosts? Oh, Amina's showing me that she has a horse now. So... But does she still have that rifle? I gotta put a question mark next to that. So, she's got 2 other items on her, and one of them's the horse. I think I'm gonna see that horse for the remainder of the game. I doubt that... I doubt that she would that they would just show me the horse if they didn't trade the rifle away, so I think it's more likely than not that Mina did dump that rifle off onto either Seward or Godalming. I wish I was paying closer attention to whether or not that was a trade, but anyway, we just have to be a little bit more observant. Alright, so now that my vampire has at least 3 spaces worth of containment, I can... Well, you know what? Let's move. I'm not so eager to drop another vampire on the trail just yet. I'll move my Dracula down to 48 to Saragossa, and I'll put down my hoax. Now, ooh, an unnatural fog. That's a good card to get. We love seeing that. And who knows, maybe he might my opponent might have a mental misstep. Maybe they'll get a searching card and they might expect that I'm down on 31 and guess that I went there, but it's doubtful. I think they'll probably try to guess on either side of 39. Mind you, the minute Van Helsing lands at 29, he'll know that the only direction I could have gone would have been to the south. So he'll figure out pretty quickly that I've gone to Bordeaux. Holy circle, holy bullets. Okay, so all the holy bullets have hit the bin. So for now, we don't have to worry about guns. Okay, so Seward's got some fast horses. That's some good info. So he got some fast horses. And it looks like his ticket economy is pretty good, so he's going down. Okay, that's not a bad place to go. Seward is awfully close to me now, and I don't like it. Kind of makes me regret going to 48, mind you. However, it is... Now, I don't want to get reckless. Moving back to... Okay, yep, moving back to 54. Ooh, okay, well, their ticket economy is not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not, but so far they haven't drawn one of those glue tickets. You know, one of those white ones with no other numbers on them. So I don't suspect we'll see some horse death. And he's making pretty efficient blockading moves. He suspects that he's trying to funnel me into Spain. It is more likely what's happening here. But since they're so eager to move by horse, I think I can get away with just another movement to Madrid, and then come along the South Atlantic coast, or to the Mediterranean, depending on which direction the hunters all head off to. But I think RToWin is convinced that Van Helsing is up to the task of dealing with the vampire in Nantes. So we will just allow him to have that thought. So my misdirect is going to come off the trail now. Oh, and Snuffle and Werecraft, welcome. Hopefully this game records this time. Okay, well, Seward is definitely going to be a bit of a hassle for me, so let's just move the trail and get the misdirect off the trail. I think I'm going to move... Let's stick to the plan. I don't want to corner myself against the sea too quickly. There, we'll go to Madrid. Yes, it's on the rail line, but I think we'll put a spy down here. Got another bats. That's cool. Alright. Because Seward, even with the best horse roll, can't land on me. And even with the best train ticket, unless he's going to use a chartered carriage to go to Spain. But I don't know that the hunters would want to voluntarily start muddying their train ticket pool needlessly. So, let's see. Who knows, maybe Seward is there to play backup in case Van Helsing doesn't quite make the location. He might just fast horse on there to try to trigger me to ambush with the hide card and hit Seward with it, and then Van Helsing can just slide in and kind of deal with the vampire without the extra stress of the other event card. But we need to wait and see what his angle is, because I think Seward is down there to sort of test and make sure I've gone a certain direction, or that I don't go a certain direction. Crucifix and a rifle. Okay, crucifix. Now, was that the rifle that Mina had? Or did he just draw another rifle? That's a good question. Seward fast horses. Ooh, that's unlucky for him. Well, he can't land on any location that tells him where I've gone. So now maybe Van Helsing doesn't have the extra assurance that he once did. So I'm going to ambush him with the bats. This is such a rough choice. If I don't ambush him with the Reckless Vampire and he does have a forewarned, he just stakes the vampire and it's done. Nope, he did not have it. Otherwise, he probably would have used it there, so he does not have forewarned. That would have been a great place to play it. Additionally, if once my vampire wipes away the hide card, wipes away Bordeaux, and then wipes away Santander, that'll give me a nice whopping 7 influence points. And I'm going to take those 7 influence and I'm just going to run with it. At least I can rattle back and forth between 31 and 2 and use my hide when it wipes away to stay in these locations and hope the hunters just sort of come down and get me. And then when I do, I can hit the open ocean and kind of just sail away. I can sail about as far as the North Sea and then hop off on Hamburg or... Oh, Mina, you are going to charter a carriage. Okay, well, you're going to use the... Okay, throw that ticket back in the pool. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, well, now he knows that I've gone this way, so... That's a bit of a headache. But he has to show... Oh, he's got good luck as the next card. Alright. That's one chartered carriage gone. Yeah, and Seward, even with optimal horse movement in this space, can't quite reach the far extremity. I'm going to be dependent on that fog to keep Dracula safe from hunters just deciding they want to pounce on me. Because I want to keep the... Alright, Van Helsing. Let's see. Where do I want to shunt him to? Well, he knows... You know what? Why not? Let's see if I can't... This is getting wiped away anyway. So, I'll put him on Bordeaux. And he's become delayed. I will ambush him. Well, nah. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I think he's smarter than that. Even if I ambushed him, oh no, I'm going to be double delayed. He wouldn't show me anything that Van Helsing had in his hand to begin with. So... Oh, okay, she searched the hoax. Nice. Now Mina's delayed. That's not terrible. I mean... Now, the question is, where do I want to go? Saragossa... Or 47... Oh wait, Santander is going to get wiped off the trail anyway? Well, let's move. Slide the trail. And mature the vampire. There we go. 7 influence in my back pocket. I don't want to be haughty and stick myself so close to both Van Helsing and Seward. There's enough probability that... I mean, I could go to 1. But would he think... I think Seward might think to check that port first and have Van Helsing go to 47. So the odds of me being found are pretty good. I don't want a wolf form right now because it's a weak wolf form. Where do I go, right? I mean, the only place I'd want to go would be to Barcelona, and then that's even not the best situation to be in either. So what I'll do is I'll just move my hunter... Or move my... I'll move Dracula... to... I guess I'll go to 12. just to Cadiz, just on the off chance that Van Helsing might on the chance that he might have horses. I'll put another vampire down here. All right. And Saragosa's on the trail. It can sit there for all I care. I can't misdirect it anyway. But with Mina... Okay. Long night. That's a bit dangerous. He wants to... Unless he's playing it just to get it out of his hand. But I don't know why you would want to do that. It's not like it's really all that necessary to play it to get it out of your hand. Garlic. Seward fast horses. Rolls another slow roll. So they really don't have their horse economy all figured out. But the boldness of just using his horses now suggests to me that they've got all of the glue tickets. So they must have all the one railroad tickets. Not perfect horse economy. So, all right. So you play Long Night, and then you don't move with it? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, wax cylinders is going to be a bit irritating. Because now it suggests to me that there's no place that I can hide that Seward won't think to look for me. And that's fine. But what I think I am going to do, I will hide. Slide to trail. Sure. Yes. We'll hide. Now, let's just take a quick look at the map. He can't get unlucky forever. I'll put down the fog. It seems like a good place to use it. And then I get rats. Well, I don't want, in the excitement, to forget that I had a vampire on Cadiz. However, if I could convince him that there's a vampire closer... No, I don't like wasting rumor tokens that way. Now this puts pressure on him. It doesn't matter what kind of vampire this is sitting on top of. He needs to investigate that space. Well, he didn't use Long Night. A stake and a rifle. Okay. And he's discarding an event. Ooh. Might not be the best event ever. But now I really question whether Godalming has that rifle or not. What's more likely to be the case is I suspect, and I have a strong suspicion, that Godalming is holding a Heavenly Host and a knife, and he's got one other thing. I don't know what it is. But if I was a gambling man, and I'm going to have to be for this particular game, I think he might also be sitting on top of... if he's got planned ambush, that's the peanut butter jelly combo right there. Please be 3 times unlucky. Nope. Okay. Yeah, he had my number. Let's just ambush him with the fog. And Seward has become delayed. Okay, cool. I won't fight Seward. I am just going to skedaddle. Mind you, I've got an isolated Seward, and he's got a fast horse and possibly a rifle. But I don't know for sure. I'll skip. Make Van Helsing search that at night. Thing is, I don't know a darn thing about what Van Helsing is holding on to. Yes, I will avoid this combat. Thank you very much. Well, I hope you were enjoying what you saw, Werecraft. Okay. Seward's still delayed. So those tokens boil away at dusk. Oh. Okay. Ugh. Well, yeah, he's got dogs and a steak. And he finds my spy. Well, that was very helpful information. Van Helsing is holding on to dogs and a steak. Yeah, sure, he neutralized my spy, but he doesn't have much to fight me with. Woof woof. Yep. Yeah. When dogs are useful, they're useful for sure. The problem though is that had I ambushed him with that, all I would have seen was the dog card, and then I wouldn't have learned he had a stake. But now that I know he has a stake, I have to ambush him if he decides to move in on that vampire. Now, I'm not going to stick around here to find out whether or not he's got a card to deal with me. Mina doesn't look like she's been doing a lot of moving either. Could I get away with a move to 31 and put down bats? Let me just... I want to check something here. Fog. This is where my lack of the intimate knowledge of this game is starting to correct me. Because fog tokens go away at dusk. Here, I'm just going to give him a quick little... just to let him know that I'm not. I'll be back. Alright. At least he gives me the same courtesy. Thank you, buddy. Okay. So, after getting my physical copy out, just to be certain I was cognizant of the rules, that fog token doesn't go away until the end of dusk. So I could stay here another turn. But in order to stay put, I would have to play a hide or a feed or a dark call, and I'm not too interested in playing any of those cards. I think the best... And I haven't seen Mina try to use... You know what? This seems a bit daring, but I'm going to slide the trail. I don't believe Van Helsing's got the best equipment to fight me. I'm going to move to 31. And I'm going to put down... maybe bodyguards? Because bats aren't going to keep me safe. Yeah, bodyguards. Get another unnatural fog. Okay. This should give him some... uncertainty as to whether I've gone to 26 or to 31. But it keeps me on land a little longer. And Godalming is way the heck over there. Mina's got a horse. Seward has a horse. That last horse has got to be in the deck somewhere, because heck knows Godalming doesn't have it. And I think Godalming has been trying to find it. Maybe he's found it now, who knows? The length of time he's spending thinking about this dawn action is making me worry about my decision to have stayed on land rather than going to sea. I only chose to do this because odds are likely that maybe, because Van Helsing doesn't have the best equipment in the world, just dogs and a stake, that he might not try to attack me with Van Helsing. But Mina is the one I need to worry about. Rifle and garlic wreath. Okay. Well, those are all the garlic wreaths. So, there's only one rifle and one pistol floating around among those two characters. But does Mina have the... I'm fairly certain Mina maybe has a knife. I'm going to put an exclamation point on that. I think Mina's got a knife. And maybe Van Helsing has the pistol? Maybe? Okay, what's Seward gonna discard? Oh, so discards a pistol. Okay, so all the pistols are accounted for. So... oh, Van Helsing supplied. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. And he discards dogs. Okay, well, that doesn't seem to be a bad thing. Now, Mina... what are you gonna do, Mina? I still haven't seen a single heavenly host come out of this deck. Yet. So, I'm fairly certain that there are certain people holding on to heavenly hosts, or they... For sure, there have to be knives. Knife has to be, because those are the money items right there. The knife and the mind you, I haven't seen an additional crucifix hit the bin yet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, all the garlic is in. That's what I missed. Garlic. So there's no garlic cards. And there's only one rifle to be had out there among all those hunters. And who's holding it? He's trying to... either trying to summon up his courage, or he's thinking long and hard about whether or not he wants to send Mina into battle against a stocked-up Dracula. And he decides to supply instead. That's fine. I can live with a supply action. Okay, let me... Okay, Mina, what was that? A surprising return. Okay. I personally think she threw away the good luck. I don't... it's not a very useful event card in this meta, considering that barricades don't come up very often. And Seward uses a stake. Okay, well, that's fine. There's one stake down. It came from Seward, so he's got one less item in his hand. So we only had 2 other weapons. Possibly a knife and a rifle, maybe? Well, if this move wasn't obvious to anyone, I'm going to slide this trail, and I'm going to move to C. There's just too much pressure on me right now, and I need to get the heck out of here. But at least I've got a fog to back me up in case I run into some severe issues. Now, my voyage needs to give him the most uncertainty that I can give him. If I only move one space and then land, there's only a couple of places that I could end up, or that I would possibly be. So, from here, I could go 1, 2, 3, and then wolf form into Ionian, from the Ionian up to 50. Or, I could go to the North Atlantic, English Channel, North Sea, and then wolf form to Prague. But there's no evidence that suggests that I've seen he has consecrated ground. Alright, well, a supply action from Godalming now would confirm the entirety of all of the hunters' at least equipment after the deck refreshed. Warecraft is just checking in and checking out. Nice to see that my game is interesting enough for him. Yeah, I do kind of feel bad that I didn't ambush Seward with that vampire. But... oh, another chartered carriage. Okay, where's... I think this might be a mistake on his behalf. No, well, that's... I mean, it's not a terrible idea. I think I can kind of see where his thought process is going. He thinks he wants to make my moving to the Mediterranean and then landing in Cagliari a very... how do you put it? Unpalatable idea. So, I mean, that's not bad thinking. Now, if my hide card were not still on the trail, then I might have considered going to the Mediterranean and then stopping in Cagliari and then hiding on top of a vampire and then feeding, but that's not gonna happen this time around. However, now with my locations set up the way they are, it's not going to be too hard. It could be hard. Because Mina's sitting on top of Saragossa right now, and Van Helsing's on top of Madrid. So I can make those into layers just to cycle through my my event deck a bit. Seward is on the move. He only moves 2. It doesn't look like he wants to have anything to do with that event card. I mean, okay, if that's how you want to do it, I suppose, but Van Helsing is going to check it out. That's fine, I'll skip that. Mina plays fast horse, and she's gonna... They still don't have a perfect horse economy. Okay, so thinking out loud here. I think my plan for Dracula now, I'm going to move Mediterranean and then to the Tyrrhenian, and I'm going to wolf form to Bari on the coastline there, or is that... My geography is a bit off. Yeah, Bari. And then maybe just park it there under the hide card, because by the time I get there, the hide card should come back, right? So South Atlantic to Med, that's 1 space. Then to Tyrrhenian, that's a 2nd space. And then wolf form to Bari pushes it a 3rd space, and then my 4th... Yeah, so by the time I reach Bari, I should be able to then on the following turn place the hide card down. Which is fine. And this is all in the hopes that they don't use a... What is it? A money trail? Yeah, that's this card. Money trail. So I'll slide the trail. And I make Saragossa into a lair. And... I don't know. We just want to dump off some less than effective cards there. The mob is more effective than I would like it to be. No, we'll put the rats on Saragossa. Why not? And then we'll get some wolves. And let's move to the Med. My hope is that Evil Presence doesn't get drawn this round, because if they do get an Evil Presence, they will suspect exactly where I am. I've been in this situation before. Evil Presence would be probably one of the worst things that could happen to me, but let's see what he does. Alright, so these are the last 2 discards, and then the pile will be fresh again. A knife and dogs. Oh, fun. Alright. So, and then Jonathan Harker. But can Harker search? No, no. Allies can't search sea spaces. They can't. I don't think they can, anyway. Oh, he kind of whiffed it. Alright. So Harker, we're going to keep that in mind. Because there's a surprising return. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Harker and discard. Yep. Seward is on the move. Finally, they've seemed to get their act together. Okay, so he's hedging his bets. He's trying to figure out which direction I've gone. And Van Helsing is going to supply. On a fresh deck. So there were 2 knives. Holy Circle. Okay, trash a Holy Circle. 1 rifle. One crucifix? Bizarrely enough, 1 crucifix. Not a lot of people keep crucifix. One Holy Circle. So all the horses are out. They would have to be. So who's got that last horse? And then there's 1 stake somewhere out there. And then the 3 heavenly hosts. The ever so precious heavenly hosts have to be out there somewhere. They're among some of the stuff. So I think he's saving Harker as a surprising return. Hey, look who's back in town, and he's gonna dartboard me, and he's gonna get me, and he's gonna just ride me down and give me no rest. Van Helsing plays a stake, so Van Helsing has the Ooh, no, we knew Van Helsing had that stake. That's fine. And bodyguards hit you for 2. Show me a weapon, Van Helsing. Ah, that's where that last rifle went. Okay. So Mina can't have a rifle. And neither can Godalming. And there's a bit of a trade going on there between Mina and Godalming. So they're getting something figured out. Did Mina just flash a money trail? Oh, heroic leap. Ooh. Okay, that's a good thing to know about. Wow. Talk about mismanagement. I mean, personally, I think that's a mismanage. But let's move the trail. Make Madrid into a lair. And we'll plunk wolves on that spot. Ooh, desecrated soil. Desecrated soil is something that I'm glad is showing up now, at least. We'll move 1 more sea space to Tyrrhenian. And then we'll wolf form inland and drop the desecrated soil on the on Bari and hide under some bats before or hide under Well, we can think about that a little bit more in a bit. I can only sandbag the sea movement by one more. So garlic and a... Oh, lots of garlic on that one. Garlic and garlic. Now, does it serve my interests better to just move one more sea space? No, I mean... It seems kind of silly to me to move one more sea space. Because moving one more sea space would only serve to make him think that I did a full circle around the English, like, went South Atlantic, North Atlantic, North Sea, English Channel. That's the only way it would work. Or, yeah, that's the only way it would work, only to land in England. But at least if I leave only 3 sea spaces on the trail, his guess has to be another holy circle, so those are both gone this time around. So we're down 1 knife. And it was Godalming who threw the knife away? Huh. So maybe he already had another knife. Money trail. Go figure. Well, now that he's done that, I think we just move to the Ionian and then wolf form to Sophia. Well, yeah, you know where I am. I think that was just because he had nothing better to do kind of move. Alright, Money Trail. And Money Trail was played by Seward, so that's one less of those he's got to play with. How many cards does Seward have? He's got 1, 2, 3... No, Seward didn't play it. Couldn't have played it. Van Helsing played it? Yeah, maybe it was Van Helsing. Alright, well... Yeah. Oh boy. I'll just take quick stock of what everyone's got here. So, Godalming's sitting on top of 2 events. Maybe he's the one who played the Money Trail. Seward's got the 4. Godalming, you know, Van Helsing's got 2. And Mina's got 2. Among them, that surprising return. And probably the heroic... I mean, the heroic leap. Maybe the no, she's got 3. That always fools me. I look at her. Alright. Well... I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen if I go into Bari? Then I have to... No, I think... Why don't we just... Okay. Let's slide the trail. Cadiz will make a lair. We need to get another vampire on the trail somewhere. So put the mob down. An aristocratic vampire. That's fine. Okay. Well, this may be where I lose the game. Let's wolf form. To Bari. Now I'm going to put the desecrated soil on the trail. Ah, we got a vampire now. Cool. I take that opportunity to maybe feed and hope that Godalming doesn't have what it takes to get in there. Okay, this is making him think. Because there's a lot of places I could have come ashore. Either I wolf formed from 25 and landed on 37, or I wolf formed onto 57, or onto 20 from 25. That's a possibility. Or I landed in Rome and wolf formed to 20, or landed in Rome, or Bari. I mean, ultimately in the end it ends up Bari, but... Surprising return. Okay, so he's going to try to use the surprising return to use Jonathan Harker to search a location. And, oh, would you look at that? Yeah, he figured out. Speedy Telegraph is on the trail now. Okay. So this is a turn. He's going to spend a turn getting his stuff in order, I guess. Well, the stupid thing is now that a hide isn't going to work on Bari. So the only other choice I have is to just feed to get back some health. And thumb my nose at him. But if Godalming is coming guns blazing, then I'm going to be in for a world of hurt. Van Helsing starts by supplying. And throws away a rifle. But that was his rifle. At least I think it was. Well, we don't know whether or not he has a rifle anymore. We'll just put that as a question mark. Come on, Godalming. What you gonna do now? Okay, that's where that last fast horse was. Okay. Now I know who has all of them, so Van Helsing doesn't have it. Seward's got fast horses. Yeah, I see what he's trying to do now. He's got a plan. He wants to come around. Okay, Van Helsing's got a Mystic Research. 1 Dracula event. Okay, so he's got 5 night supplies on his hand. Yikes. Okay. Oh, I see. He used wax cylinders to see whether or not it was worth his time to go to Bari? And that was a just because. Okay, well, he doesn't seem too interested in getting to me, so maybe we'll just push my hide card off the trail. I can't hide here, but I can definitely take advantage of the fact that he's not pressuring me too hard and feed. So, I guess the idea being, if he's going to come around and try to cut me off at Valona, which is 55, right? Which is probably where I would have skipped over to. If Seward decides that he wants to put me under some undue pressure, I'll just go to the Adriatic and then come back in Venice. And then go north. But it really all depends on how deep he's going to go into Eastern Europe before I make that decision. Because I do have the luxury of going back onto the Adriatic Sea and then going to the Ionian and then coming ashore on the far side of Athens. But I don't want to get caught in a consecrated ground trap. But I don't think he can consecrated ground trap me on 57. He's got to... He could put his consecrated ground token on 57 to prevent me from coming up that way if I go to C in response to me going to C. But I don't think he's... I've got to get inside his headspace. I need to know what his plan ultimately is. And let's see, he's fast horsing. And it looks like he wants to cut me off at Valona. And Seward is probably going to come down the boot to put pressure on me, undue pressure on me. That's fine. He's... Okay, then there's Van Helsing. And where's Mina gonna go? Yeah, he's hemming me in pretty good. Because he knows that my wolf form is not going to be available to me for a while. Yeah, I don't like the situation I'm in right now. I want my wolf form back sooner rather than later, which is unfortunate. But a move to C now would push it here. Then to Ionian would push it there. Then the Black Sea would push it there. And then by the time I get to the Black Sea and I have to land, I've got no choice but to come ashore. Let's put a lair in Lisbon. Clear. Cadiz. Oh, I don't like it, but the hoax isn't going to help me at this point. I mean, a new vampire. Okay. Now I'm trying to bank on the fact, does Seward have a forewarned? And can I get away with just moving 2 spaces on land? And so then the next turn that comes off the trail. No, it's not good. We're just gonna go to the Adriatic. It seems like the only play I can make at this point. And I don't want to get CG locked. So as unpleasant as this whole experience is going to be, maybe I just need to drop onto 55 anyway with Lord Godalming and just say how do you do and hopefully smack him around. As unappealing as that prospect is, I have to hope and pray that he doesn't have a planned ambush. Because being in a day fight is not going to be too fun. Let's see how he moves. Well, it's a shame you can't just hide at sea. Well, that's kind of a dumb move. What would you do at sea? Oh no. Yeah, he's got some stress on him now. He needs to discern... He made the play I assumed he was going to make. So he must have some type of... Seward is going to fast horse. He's going to fast horse down. Fast horse up. Okay. He doesn't seem to care if Bari matures or not. It does seem kind of odd to me that he wouldn't want to, he wouldn't want to come down there and prevent me from getting another point of health, really. I can only hope and pray he miscounts his night supplies. Okay, now this is for all the tea in China, as they say, or like to say. I don't want to drop onto Mina's spot, because that'd be suicide. I can't go back to Bari. And my misdirect can't touch Bari anyway, because it's exposed. But going to the Ionian is just delaying the inevitable. He'll stay on that spot. Okay, so how many... What are the odds he has it? So there's... How many... So there's 33 event cards. And he's gone through 31 of them. And... Oh, there's one planned ambush in the discard pile already. Huh. So... What are the odds he has the last one? So, Mystic Research. Telegraph. Money Trail. Harker. Lucy's Revenge is even in the discard pile. You know what? Okay, this might be reckless, but I think I have to stomp him. I only pray that my combat instincts, which aren't very good to begin with, actually get me through this this encounter. Hindsight being 2020, I should have moved the extra C space and then wolf formed to Sophia. It wouldn't have had me so cornered. He was able to actually scramble out very quickly. And maybe stopping to feed was a bad idea, because I needed to get to 55 before he did. But the heroic leap is still on Mina. And he doesn't have Lucy's Revenge. And there's one planned ambush in the discard pile. The question is, does he have the other planned ambush? If he doesn't have the other planned ambush, okay, long night, fine. No. Oh, okay. So. I have to predict what his first throw is going to be. I don't have fangs. So... I'll play Claws. Okay, let's see what that does. I think Claws is a safe play. So he punches as his first card. Okay. We're doing okay so far. Now we have to plot. Because I don't think he's got a pistol. He escapes. You coward. Okay. And since I left the Black and Ionian Sea free, if I need to make a break for it, I'm going to head up to Sofia, to Bucharest, and then to Constanta. And if I have to go on the ocean, then at least I can go down the Black Sea, Ionian Sea, and then come back across the Mediterranean. But I don't even have to do even that. I can just slide down to Athens, plop down a fog, and then by the time I go back into the Ionian Sea, the Tyrrhenian will have fallen off and I can go back the other way. Brilliant! I hope. But there's another fight to be had. Mind you, Long Night isn't gonna help the hunters. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. No problem. Wow. Oh my goodness. Here I was thinking that dropping directly onto a hunter and getting into a day fight was going to be bad. And it could have turned out way worse than I had hoped. But, oh well. And Godalming didn't really tip his hand at all. But now I gotta think to myself, would it be better for me to go up to Sophia, which is number 50 there, and put down one of my vampires and get into and fight him there, or because my thought process here is that if he thinks that I'm going to the coastline and he's got a way to forewarn the fog, then I'm in deep. It might be trading with Lord Godalming. So there's an event that he wants him to have. Okay, so that makes this decision process maybe just a little bit easier. Mina is still too far away to get onto the same space as me with a heroic leap, but I don't want to be anywhere near her. Escape route? Sure. And he rests. Oh, there's the consecrated ground I was afraid of. Okay. So I can't go there. I can't go there. I can't go there. So he forces me to stay put. Well, now I don't have to worry about consecrated ground anymore. Well, okay. Well, I don't want a dark call. So I'll waste the hide card just to stay put. but now I get in a dust-up with Godalming. Okay. Now if is he gonna just run? Ooh, he swung at me with that knife. Yeah, that's one card I thought he had. Now the other one, the other card he has to have has to be that Heavenly Host. Oh, dear me. But I can't hit him with the... Well, if he's gonna splash me with that Heavenly Host, then he's gonna splash me with that Heavenly Host. So he dodges claws. Okay. Now does he go back to the knife? No, no. Well, I had no way to get away from that. But me getting stabbed to death doesn't seem like the best idea, so I think I'm just gonna escape as mist. Nah, this game is turning sideways on me. I don't think I've got much of a hope of surviving. The only thing that I can hope and pray that happens here is that... Well... No, I was kind of hoping he'd heroic leap me, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I think we have to just accept the fact that we're going to get scorched. Oh, really? This is the hand they gave me? I'm just boned at this point. Well, fine, whatever. I'll play my final card. I played against Godalming because he seems like he'd be the only one that this card would affect. Yep, congratulations, I broke your knife. Yay. Assuming, of course, that... Oof. Another knife. Ouch. Okay. And a rifle. Ooh, hey. Well, I'm not dead this round. But I'm still as close to screwed as can possibly be expected. Oh, dear me. Oh. Such rotten luck. Yeah, it's always CG to screw to screw you over. Well, I'll play that strength. Doesn't really matter who I play it against, really. Mind you. Yeah, play it against Seward. Why not? Just a punch. Ha! What an insulting way to die by punch. Well, that's 2 games I lose, but they were well fought. Alright, so Drac was 0 health, had 7 influence, and... Well, not the best start to this tournament. "18 days. You know, and in hindsight, I don't think it would have mattered even if I'd continued the CG or to sea travel. He just had me at every opportunity. Yeah, that not landing on Lord Godalming's head was equally bad. Yeah, no, it truly was. I don't disagree with you on that one. It's, yeah, it looked like my best move. Yeah, it looked like my best move for sure. Yeah, just... No, that's exactly what I was afraid of. I didn't want to get stuck in a consecrated ground trap, and I knew that Valona was the best spot I could go to because it had too many exits to be trappable. And then after I landed on Godalming, I thought, oh, there's a chance now. And then what I really needed to have happen was some bad horse luck from Seward and Mina and have them be further behind than they were. But you can't get everything. Alright, well, I'm going to get to posting this, and hopefully it recorded. So, thanks for watching this. So this was game 1 in the League of Dracula. And in all honesty, I could have done a lot better. There was a lot of mistakes that I made that were minor mistakes, but at the same time, I was also victim to some pretty horrid luck in the situations where I needed, like, some breathing room. And for sure, I didn't get the combat cards that I needed either. I would have loved to have fanged into that Heavenly Host token when I was fighting Godalming in that one morning to end that with a bite and have some more health. But then where do you go from there, right? You've got a hunter who's got a knife, and then you've got the other two who are riding you down, and it's just a whole mess. Alright. Well, hopefully I'll have better luck next week. Well, that's all from me for today, so until we see you next time, bye-bye. And then, yeah, let's... It's been a while since I've done this, and I forget how to use this. Don't hold that against me.